Hi, after my last video, which was done about 3 years ago, on the roles and responsibilities of school principals, many teachers and school administrators wrote to me asking for my advice on how to manage their schools more effectively. A few of them wrote to me asking me to help them to prepare for the job of a school principal, which they are appearing for an interview and so on. Well, I must confess that I myself had not worked as a school principal. My qualification is largely out of my own experience of working with the, at one time called as National Institute of Educational Planning and Administration. Now it's called NUPA in Delhi. I used to teach educational administrators in that particular institute. Besides, I've done my B.Ed, Bachelor's of Education, from the Regional College of Education, Mysore, in the year 1965-66, and I am very proud of what I have learnt in that particular institute. I have had some of the best teachers at that time. Those years, the institute was started with collaboration from Ohio State University, and we had excellent professors like Prafulla Chandra Dave, Dr. C.L. Anand, P.R. Nair, and a whole lot of others who taught quite a bit about educational philosophy and things like that. In fact, that institute changed my life, and that is what led me from a mathematics student to move on to psychology and helped me to achieve whatever I have achieved. And my qualification is also of working with for long periods of time with the UNESCO. And Uday Parikh and I wrote a book on handbook for educational administrators on training, how to train, what are the training methods and so on. But I do not have, of course, I have done a lot of training programs for school teachers in different places. We have done work with Sanawar, have done work with Doon School, and worked with teachers in schools of Javaja in Ajmer district and so on. Well, I would like to say that there are 7 areas where a school principal can show his or her leadership. This is managing finances or financial leadership, managing infrastructure, the physical facilities, the school complex and things like that. Third is managing teachers. Fourth is managing the students. Fifth is managing staff. Sixth is leading the community where the schools are located. Seventh, I put it in priority, is syllabus. That is perhaps the least of the priorities, because there are things on which you cannot do much in relation to syllabus, and of course do very little in relation to the community and so on. I want to start by saying how important it is to manage the finances of the institute. A large number of school administrators, principals will not have much of a flexibility, because the money is given either by the management committee or by the panchayat or the district or whatever are the authorities that are there, with all kinds of rules, regulations, restrictions and so on. So it is very important before you take up the job of a school principal or administrator to understand what is the financial situation of the particular school. It's not a rocket science, it is not like running an industry, it is normally filled with constraints, but I think it is important to understand this, because you probably will have to manage with meager finances so many things, and with limited flexibilities, and with maybe there are a lot of opportunities and so on. You have to look after financing for the playground, for the classrooms, for the infrastructure, for teacher training, if there is any budget at all, for managing the cleanliness, etc., health, hygiene, and so on and so forth. For all this, money becomes very important. The most important thing before you take up the job of a principal is for you to understand what is the scope that you have to raise your own resources. May not be in financial terms, but certainly wherever possible in financial terms. Well, there will be rules and regulations which you will have to strictly observe as for the local government or whatever is the government agency that is appointing you. But there are always opportunities in terms of raising funds. For example, alumni become a good source for providing financial assistance to the students, and this could be simply by donations. The other day I visited my own school in a small village where I was born and brought up. And when I went to the school and talked to the teacher that I'd like to give a small gift to the students, the teacher said all that we need is a small meager amount of 500 rupees per person so that they can buy books, because everything is supplied free. So we did that in terms of trying to do that for a good number of students in that class. But at the end of the teacher said, "Sir, I have two students who are from very poor family. They are very bright, but they can't afford to go beyond this 10th standard. They have an ambition of joining a nursing course, and it will require some financial assistance for them to complete the nursing course in about 3 to 4 years." I inquired, and then of course was quite pleased to pass on a little small assistance for some of these students. This does not require, there are no tax benefits and other things, because I am simply giving to the students and like that. So a school principal should be able to mobilize resources from local community and pass it on directly to the needy students. Take their help in terms of maybe upgrading the playground, upgrading the furniture. There are a whole lot of things that are permitted by your school administration, school laws, etc., to raise funds. I think it is always a good idea to get people to fund directly and give a little bit of a small name and so on. Like, if you need to construct a classroom and there are no funds available, you can seek help from alumni and take whatever necessary permissions are required and do that. So I think financial management is a very, very important part of this one, and I would advise the principals to, first of all, before you become a principal, understand the situation, explore with people, generate ideas, and see what is the way you can top up the resources you have. The next most important thing for a school principal to do is managing school infrastructure. I think particularly if your school happens to be a co-education school or for a girls' school, it is very important to ensure that they have good drinking water and good toilet facilities. Health and hygiene becomes the number one item of importance. I think this requires funds, but this also requires initiative on the part of the principal. There are many industries across who will be quite happy to help you. You will only have to tap some of the right kind of resources. So the second important thing for the school principal to do is managing infrastructure. Means you have a look at your classrooms, what is the kind of infrastructure you have, whether you have computers that are required, small things like the television, radio and other kind of audio-visual aids, laboratory equipment that you have, playground and ventilation in the school premises, and whole lot of things you need to look at. So the second leadership you have to show is infrastructural leadership, because if a school can be maintained well in terms of infrastructure, it becomes an attractive place, and it also influences the minds of both the faculty, the teachers as well as the students. So you must maintain good infrastructure, neat and clean environment, good hygiene, good facilities for water, recreation, lunchroom, sports and things like that. The third most important part of managing a school is managing teachers. The most important thing here is you need to learn all the skills that are required of human resource management. First thing I think you must learn is that it is always good teachers, happy teachers who give their best. So you have to make them happy. Making them happy does not mean pleasing everyone. Discipline, balancing discipline with at the same time managing, giving freedom to teachers and getting them to work becomes very, very important. You need to adopt a whole lot of techniques. Normally, I recommend that you should be in constant touch with teachers, meet them individually and in small teams, understand their difficulties, motivate them, enthuse them, and point out. I think the best way you can motivate your teachers is when they have done a good job, giving them a compliment, and get the students to honor them, get the parents to honor them, get the community to honor them, put their names everywhere and so on. And do not create interpersonal jealousies, because teachers are normally competing with each other, and you have to handle this very carefully by even looking at those whom you may consider as not very disciplined kind of teachers, by warmly, affectionately treating them, and wherever of course required, if you have to warn somebody that this is not tolerable, this is not acceptable, you have to warn with affection. I would say that the way you deal positively with people, with hope, with praise, with of course wherever required reprimand, and uncompromising discipline, this is very important. You have to communicate. Now if you have to do all of it, your own behavior becomes important. You have to set an example of coming on time and doing all that you expect your teachers to do. So the best way to manage teachers is by showing your own kind of leadership competencies, which are listening, empathetic, understanding, problem solving, and continuous kind of a communication and so on. And the fourth thing that you need to do is managing students. This is very easy. There are many opportunities, starting with the school assembly to the examinations, conducting and meetings once in a while, going to each class, meeting the students, asking about their welfare, and managing also the parent-teacher associations, particularly getting in touch with parents and communicating to them how well their wards are doing and things like that. I think this becomes a very, very important part of a principal's job. And you can do a hell of a lot of things in terms of encouraging them to participate in sports, having inter-school competitions, within the school debates. I think school is a wonderful opportunity to build the character of students. It's a wonderful opportunity because you are building the future citizens of a country. So it's a very great thing that you are doing. Therefore, managing students is something which has to be paid importance. Balancing all the time discipline with a little freedom of expression, and at the same time getting them to do a variety of activities becomes very important. The fifth thing in terms of your leadership is staff leadership. Normally schools don't have too many staff, but these staff are very, very important for you. You will have to constantly give them training. You have to appreciate good work they are doing, because they can make a lot of difference. They are the ones who can be very affectionate, very interact with the other children and with the teachers and things like that. So managing your staff. Then the sixth thing that you need to manage is community. Community is a great resource. Do not treat it as a headache. It's a great resource. You should once in a while visit the community, meet some prominent people, talk to them about their image of the school, what is it that they can do to the school, invite them for school functions. I think there is a lot that you can do in building community linkages between the school and the community. And you can use community leaders, get them to come and even address the assembly and so on. I think there are a number of things if you can take the community along. And the last of all the things I would say, which is easy to manage, I have put in the line, is managing syllabus, managing curriculum. But in this I would want to say, I don't need to say much about how do you manage your curriculum. It is very important to look at the curriculum. It's more important to understand the philosophy behind the curriculum and how the curriculum builds personality. It is not learning for the sake of learning, it is learning for all-round development. It's learning for future citizenship and so on. So I think you look at the syllabus, look at the extracurricular activities, and start focusing once in a while on the importance of whatever they are learning. Everything that is included in the syllabus has a meaning, particularly those things which are important for the community, for the society in which the school is located. You can pick up, you can highlight, you can even get the students to conduct classes for the community and so on. Well, these are thoughts about 7 dimensions of managing the school. We will have more conversations on this. I hope you like the video. If you like the video, do send a mail. Do put a comment here once you watch the video, whatever you feel. Thank you very much. All the best from TVRLS.